Namaste. The scenes that you just saw are from a few days ago from Kerala. The unemployed youth of the state have been protesting for the last few days. You've probably not heard of this because none of the national mainstream media outlets that are giving wall to wall coverage for the farmers protesting in Delhi have bothered to cover this protest. They only remember the state when Rahul ji goes there to visit his constituency or there is a beef fest going on. Tyranny of distance, you see. Before I tell you why these protests are happening, if this is the first time you're here on this channel, I make videos with extensive research and in-depth analysis on topics of cultural and political significance for India, especially for Hindus living here. If such issues interest you, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that you are alerted whenever I post a new video. Now, coming back to our topic of protests that are currently going on in Kerala. As you may already know, Kerala is one of the most densely populated states in India. It is also one with one of the highest rates of literacy and one of the lowest number of private industry jobs. This is all to say that the state has a high number of employable people but a very low number of potential employers. A consequence of all this is that the few jobs in the state government are in a very high demand. The state has a public services commission which conducts examinations periodically to recruit staff into different government services at various levels. However, ever since the current LDF government under Pinarayi Vijayan came to power, the state government has been systematically undermining this duly established recruitment process and ignoring the PSC rank list while making appointments. Instead, they have been giving jobs on a temporary basis to Marxist party workers and relatives of party workers. This has been the case not only for lower level positions but also to high level senior level positions in ministries and teaching positions in universities and colleges. Almost immediately after Pinarayi government took office, within a couple of months or so, the number 2 in the cabinet, Industries Minister E.P. Jayarajan, had to resign. This was after it came out that immediately after Jayarajan became the minister, son of CPM Central Committee member and MP from Kannur, P.K. Srimati's son and daughter-in-law of Jayarajan's brother were appointed at managerial positions in public sector industries under Kerala government without them having required qualifications. But once the controversy died down, Pinarayi re-inducted Jayarajan into the ministry in the same position. That was just the beginning. After that, several relatives of senior CPM leaders were given government jobs in blatant disregard of appointment rules and qualification requirements. For example, in 2016, State Higher Education Minister K.T. Jalil's wife was promoted as principal of a high school in violation of service regulations and seniority requirements. Thus, another teacher who was deserving of that position was denied a promotion. Another minister, G. Sudhakaran's wife, had to step down from her position in Kerala University after questions were raised about the way in which she was appointed there. In 2018, the Kerala High Court had to intervene to cancel the appointment of CPM MLA A.N. Shamsir's wife as assistant professor in Kannur University. But the state government was not deterred by this resounding slap on their face from the judiciary and once again tried to appoint Shamsir's wife in Calicut University again earlier this year. But this attempt was aborted after a controversy started and other applicants threatened to go to court against this blatant illegal appointment. Do you know what the controversy against the attempted appointment of Shamsir's wife was? The PhD thesis guide of this lady was included in the panel that interviewed the candidates. And this PhD guide, didn't even have the minimum integrity to recuse himself from participating in the interview of his student. It's as if this person has never even heard of a concept called conflict of interest. But do you know who was actually appointed to that job after that round of interviews? The wife of a local CPM local committee secretary. That's how the CPM rolls in Kerala. You want to deny job to one of our comrades' wives, we'll just give the job to another comrade's wife. Another controversy regarding university appointments in Kerala started more recently, earlier this year, after former Palakkad MP MB Rajesh's wife was appointed in Sri Shankaracharya Sanskrit University in Kaladi as assistant professor. Rajesh had lost the election in 2019 as CPM candidate from Palakkad, and he is a prominent party face in national and local media, specializing in delivering self-righteous lectures about ethics in politics. As the members of the interview panel themselves highlighted later on in social media, Comrade Rajesh's wife was placed last in the rank list after the interview. But the university authorities reversed the rank list to give her the first rank and the appointment. That too under Muslim reservation category. I think it's important here to point out the hypocrisy of the communists in our country. I think this serves as a good example. They say that they don't believe in caste or religion. They don't include caste and religion in their children's birth certificates. They marry in government offices and they never go to temples or churches or mosques. But when it comes to government benefits and government jobs, they all have caste, they all have religion. That's how honest their principles are. To understand how brazen these Marxists are, or how stupid they are in perpetuating these illegal activities, the chairman of the Kerala State Film Academy or the Kerala State Chalachitra Academy is a cinema director called Kamal. As you can expect, he is known for his rabid leftist views and for abusing RSS and Hindus in general. In August last year, Comrade Kamal wrote a letter to the Culture Minister of Kerala in which got leaked a little earlier this year in January. In that letter, Comrade Kamal requests the minister to make 4 contract employees permanent. And do you know what is the reason that he gave for this request? The biggest reason, as per Comrade Kamal, is that the 4 temporary employees are affiliated to the leftist organizations, and this is something that we should all pay very close attention to. Another reason he gave for why these 4 people should be given permanent employment at the cost of Kerala taxpayers is that doing so will help retain the leftist character of the Kerala State Chalachitra Academy, even after CPM goes out of power later this year in May. Do you see what the kind of games that the Marxists play in our country? They are using the tax money that you and I pay to give permanent job security to those aligned to their party and to perpetuate their ideology in government and in the academia. And they have been doing this for decades, ever since we became independent. But we are getting to know this only now because of the social media. Is there any surprise then that our universities have become an adda, a breeding ground for breaking India forces and Hindu-phobic elements? The current protest started about a week or so ago after the decision by the Kerala cabinet to regularize and give permanent appointments to thousands of people who were originally appointed on a temporary basis by the government. They are doing this even while thousands of youth in the state who secured a good rank in the examination conducted by the Public Service Commission are still waiting to get a job in government services. The current protests are by these PSC rank holders who have earned the right for these jobs through hard work. The jobs that are now being distributed through the back door by the Marxist government to their party workers and their families as a reward for party loyalty. Finally, an advice to any young boy or girl in Kerala who aspires to secure a government job. Try to get married to a Marxist party leader. That's probably the only way you're going to get a government job in Kerala nowadays.